What if I told you someone could make you forget what you had for breakfast and convince you it never happened?
That sounds crazy, Marcus.
It does, but here's the thing, it's not crazy, it's calculated. And it happens to millions of people every single day, in relationships, at work, even inside families. They call it gaslighting.
And the worst part, most people don't even realize it's happening to them until the damage is already done.
Welcome to Dark Dialogue. I'm Marcus.
And I'm Sara. This is the podcast where we pull back the curtain on the psychology most people never talk about. The dark side, the manipulation, the tactics people use to control you without you even knowing.
Today's episode, we're going deep into gaslighting, the silent weapon of emotional destruction. How it starts, how it escalates, and how you can spot it before it breaks you.
So settle in, because once you understand this, you'll never see your conversations the same way again.
All right, Sara, let's start with the basics. Gaslighting. People throw this word around a lot these days. Somebody disagrees with you and suddenly they're a gaslighter. But that's not what it is.
Not even close. Gaslighting isn't just lying. Lying is, I ate your sandwich and said I didn't. That's a lie. Gaslighting is eating your sandwich, watching you look for it, and then telling you you never had a sandwich.
And then when you say, I'm pretty sure I made a sandwich, they look at you with this calm, almost concerned face and say, are you okay? You've been forgetting things a lot lately.
That's the move. That's the play. You're not just being lied to, you're being trained to stop trusting yourself.
The term actually comes from a movie, a 1944 film called Gaslight. A husband secretly dims the gas-powered lights in the house, little by little every night. And when the wife notices, when she says, hey, the lights seem dimmer, he tells her she's imagining things.
Night after night, dim the lights, deny it, dim the lights, deny it, until she genuinely believed she was losing her mind.
And that's the blueprint. That movie was fiction, but the tactic, it's very, very real, and it happens in 3 stages every time.
Every time.
Every single time. Stage 1, disbelief. Stage 2, defense. Stage 3, depression. Let's break these down because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. Stage 1, disbelief. This is where most people get caught because the gaslighter doesn't come in hot. They don't start with big lies. They start with small contradictions.
Like what?
Like you tell your partner you said you'd be home by 7, and they say, I never said that. And you're standing there thinking, wait, didn't they? You're pretty sure they did. But the way they said it, so calm, so confident, now you're second-guessing yourself.
And it's always that calm confidence that gets you. Because when someone sounds that sure, your brain automatically goes, maybe I'm the one who's wrong.
Exactly, and the gaslighter knows this. They're counting on it, because in stage 1 the victim doesn't fight. They just absorb. They think maybe I did misremember, maybe I am being too sensitive, and they let it go.
And that letting it go, that's the door opening.
Wide open, now stage 2 kicks in, defense. This is where you start pushing back, you're noticing a pattern, things aren't adding up, you start keeping mental notes. You start saying, no, I know what you said, I remember.
And what does the gaslighter do?
They escalate, they don't back down, they get louder. Or, and this is the scary version, they get quieter. They say things like, I'm worried about you. Or, you've been really stressed, haven't you? Maybe you should talk to someone.
So now they flipped it. You're not the victim calling out bad behavior. You're the unstable person who needs help.
And this is where they start bringing in other people. They'll say things like, I talked to your mom, she's worried about you too. Or, everyone at work has noticed you've been off lately.
Whether that's true or not.
Usually it's not, but it doesn't matter. Because now you're not just doubting your memory, you're doubting your entire grip on reality, which brings us to stage 3.
Depression.
The final stage, and the most dangerous. By stage 3, the victim has been worn down, they've stopped fighting, they've stopped questioning. They've accepted the gaslighter's version of reality as the truth.
They don't even argue anymore.
They can't, they don't have the energy, they don't trust their own thoughts. They become completely dependent on the gaslighter to tell them what's real, what happened, what they should feel. And that is the invisible prison. No walls, no locks. But you can't leave, because you don't even know you're in one.
That gave me chills, Marcus, because it's true. And the scariest part is, this doesn't just happen in romantic relationships. It happens everywhere.
That's exactly where I want to go next. Because when people hear gaslighting, they immediately picture a controlling boyfriend or a toxic girlfriend. And yes, that's real, but gaslighting in the workplace, that's a whole different animal.
How so?
Because at work you can't just walk away. You need the paycheck. You need the insurance. You need the reference, so you stay. And the gaslighter, usually a boss, sometimes a coworker, they know you're trapped.
Give me an example.
Sure, imagine you're in a meeting. Your boss says, "Let's go with plan B." You go with plan B, you put in the hours, you execute. Then a week later, the project fails. And your boss says, in front of everyone, "I told you to go with plan A. I don't understand why you went rogue on this."
And you're sitting there like, that's not what happened.
But everyone's watching. Your boss is the authority figure, so what do? You apologize, you take the blame. And that night you're lying in bed wondering, did they say plan A? No, they definitely said plan B, right. But maybe I heard wrong, maybe I was distracted.
And there it is, the self-doubt creeping in. Same pattern, same stages.
Same game, different setting. And here's the thing, workplace gaslighters are often rewarded. They get promoted because they're seen as decisive leaders. People around them take the fall for every failure, and the gaslighter takes the credit for every success.
That's actually terrifying when you think about how many workplaces run like this.
More than people realize, and then there's family gaslighting, which is honestly the most damaging kind because it starts in childhood. When a parent tells a child, "That didn't happen," or "You're being dramatic," or "Stop making things up," that child grows up not trusting their own feelings.
They carry it into every relationship, every friendship, every job.
Because the foundation was cracked from the beginning. If the person who was supposed to protect you was the one distorting your reality, how do you ever learn to trust yourself?
And they usually don't. Not without serious work. Not without someone helping them rebuild that foundation. Which actually leads to something really important. How do you know if it's happening to you?
Great question, because the nature of gaslighting is that you don't know it's happening. That's the whole point. But there are signals, red flags that your subconscious picks up on even when your conscious mind doesn't.
Like what?
Number one, you find yourself apologizing all the time. And not for real mistakes, for existing, for having feelings, for asking questions. If you're constantly saying, "I'm sorry," and you can't even pinpoint what you did wrong, that's a red flag.
That one hits hard, because so many people live like that and think it's normal.
Number two, you feel confused after conversations. Not because the topic was complicated, but because somehow you went in feeling one way and came out feeling the complete opposite. You walked into an argument about something they did wrong, and walked out apologizing for your reaction to what they did wrong.
The classic flip. You came in as the hurt party and left as the guilty one.
Exactly. Number three, you start editing yourself before you speak. You rehearse sentences in your head. You calculate how they'll react. You avoid certain topics because you know it'll end badly. And you think that's you being careful, but really, that's you being controlled.
You're performing safety instead of feeling safe.
And number four, the big one, you feel like you're going crazy. You know something is off. Deep down in your gut, you know, but you can't prove it. You can't articulate it. And every time you try, they have an answer. A calm, rational, totally reasonable answer that makes you look irrational for even asking.
So what do you do? How do you break out of this?
Step one, and this is non-negotiable, start documenting. Write it down. Texts, dates, conversations, what was said, what actually happened. Because a gaslighter's greatest weapon is your memory. When you have it on paper, they can't rewrite it.
Take the power away from their narrative.
Exactly. Step two, talk to someone outside the situation. Not someone the gaslighter has access to. A friend they don't know. A therapist. A cousin in another city. Someone with zero connection to the gaslighter. Because you need a reality check from someone who isn't inside the fog with you.
And step three.
Stop trying to win the argument, because you won't. A gaslighter doesn't argue to resolve. They argue to destabilize. The moment you realize you're not in a conversation, you're in a control game, that's when you stop playing.
Don't engage the manipulation. Just observe it.
Observe it, name it. That's not what happened, and I'm not going to debate my own memory. Period. No explanation, no defense. A gaslighter needs your reaction to keep the cycle going. Take that away, and they have nothing.
And sometimes, Marcus, let's be real, sometimes the answer is just leave, walk away, end the relationship, quit the job, because not every prison is worth escaping from the inside. Sometimes you just need to get out.
100%. And there's no shame in that. Recognizing manipulation is strength. Choosing yourself is not weakness. It's the hardest, bravest thing a person can do.
So here's the takeaway. Gaslighting isn't loud. It doesn't leave bruises. It doesn't look like abuse from the outside. But it rewires your brain. It steals your confidence. And if you let it go long enough, it steals your identity.
If anything in this episode sounded familiar, if you felt that gut punch, pay attention to it. That feeling is your truth trying to talk to you. Don't let anyone silence it.
This has been Dark Dialogue, the podcast that goes where most people are afraid to look.
I'm Marcus.
And I'm Sara.
We'll see you in the next one. And until then, trust your instincts. They're smarter than you think.
Stay aware, stay sharp, and stay free.